Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's on DisneyPlus.com with a weekly Q&A video. Now these questions have come in from our YouTube channel members and also from our patrons, where you can help support the channel from as little as $2 a month. Get access to some videos a little bit early. You get to contribute to these videos every week. You also get, like on YouTube, you get some little emojis and other bits and pieces, and you help support the podcast and the channel moving forward. So let's jump into the first question. A random movie fan asked, do you think the Disney Plus 18 trailer was real? The leaked trailer seems pretty legit for something not edited. Right, now this is a question that I've been having all week. I've been having it all over social media. It's been coming up in our Facebook group, in the comments, and people have been asking me, like, why have I not done a video? Why have I not done any articles on it? And the simple reason is there's this video floating around of Disney Plus 18 Plus, and it's got like Logan, and it's got Deadpool, and it's all kind of the idea that all the stuff that we would want to see maybe on Disney Plus as adults would be put on there. So things like The Good Doctor, Grey's Anatomy, things like that. However, so this trailer came out and it was said to be, filmed at a slightly dodgy angle, not quite the full version from someone's screen, and it's supposed to be for the Investors Day, which is taking place on the 10th of December. And the reason is, I think it's fake. And I'm going to go through why I think this video was fake and why I haven't touched it and mentioned it till now. And I thought this Q&A was probably a good time to do so. There's a few things. First off, there is no new footage of any Disney Plus original. Nothing new. Everything that we've seen in this trailer is stuff we've already seen before. So therefore, why, if they were going to do a trailer, they would showcase originals, new stuff that we've not seen to kind of highlight it, not just use old stuff. Why would they want to do that? That doesn't make any sense. Second of all, they're only showcasing movies that were coming to Disney Plus because they're already on existing platforms, things like The Lone Ranger, and they put the little dates in there. It was like, well, that's great, but generally Disney doesn't even promote them up to nearly the few weeks before they come on. They wouldn't be doing this for movies coming later down the line. They've literally just gone down a list, on our website where we've got everything that's coming in 2021, all the movies that we know the dates of, and that's it. And that was like, okay, so you've not given us anything new. You're only giving us dates of movies that we already know the dates about, and then they put in this random date in April for Black Widow on Premier Access, and there's just this kind of thing of like none of this, and it was very, very well edited, very nicely put together. The music, some of the fonts looked a bit weird, but the thing is, this whole thing about Disney Plus 18 Plus. First off, it's a terrible name because here in the UK, 18 means it's a, that's essentially calling it R-rated. That's essentially what we have the 18 certificate. So therefore, it kind of implements, adult entertainment. It's not this kind of entertainment we would be expecting. It's a general entertainment. The name, just for anybody outside of the 18 is just a dreadful name. It just does not fit with Disney Plus at all. It's completely wrong. It also doesn't fit with the whole idea of what they're doing with Star, where they're putting everything on there. So this whole thing about there being this sort of adult general entertainment section coming into Disney Plus, we all pretty much know now that it's going to be Star, that they're going to do this with. This is added tier where you get all the access to the 20th Century Studios and the ABC stuff. Disney Plus 18 Plus just does not sound right. It's just, the naming is just wrong. And this trailer, again, blurry from the side, wrong angle. And there was just, the biggest thing for me, nothing new. There wasn't a clip of anything that we've not seen before. Things like, the Disney Plus originals they showed off. There was no Flora and Ulysses. There was no, there was. Yeah, they put WandaVision in there. Well, we've already had a trailer. This is the thing. Everything that we saw was stuff we've already seen. There wasn't anything original. And believe next week, or when we have this Investors Day, we are going to be hearing about new stuff. We're going to be seeing stuff. They've already said there's going to be some sneak peeks. There wasn't any of that. And that's why this is something that anybody could make at home. Because without any of that footage in there, that's where the problem comes in. With none of that, and saying like New Mutants is coming in, I think it was July in the trailer. Well, no, it's going to be on HBO in the US probably for the whole of next year. Yeah, it'll come everywhere else. But there was so much that, they could see it. But ultimately, it picked up a lot of steam online and a lot of people asking about it. And yeah, it wasn't real. And I think it was a very good fake. But yeah, for me, it was just like there were so many red flags flying out, but that's why I haven't mentioned it till now. And like I said, we've had so many comments about it. I thought the Q&A, somebody asked about it, so that was great, so I could kind of bring that all up. But yeah, that trailer, Disney Plus 18 Plus, isn't happening because in America they've got Hulu, and in the rest of the world we're going to have Star. So they're already doing it. It's just, yeah, Disney Plus 18 Plus. It's just a dreadful name. Joshua asks, is Pedro Pascal coming back for The Mandalorian season 3, or is he done? So there's been lots of discussion about the idea that Pedro Pascal had a major problem with The Mandalorian season 2 because he didn't take his mask off and he wanted more screen time without his mask. And there's been a lot of news about this. You know, we're up to episode 5 now, and we've only got a few more to go, and as of yet, you know, it doesn't look like there's any issues. Whether or not he's done or not, I'm going to be perfectly honest. You know, for most of the time he's behind. You know, we don't see his face. I think it's a stunt double doing the work anyway. They could change the voice. I don't know. He's been actively promoting it on social media. I don't know. I just think, you know, he's onto a good thing. He's not really. He's in one of the biggest TV shows around, but he doesn't actually have to do a lot. Whether or not this goes forward in the future, whether he takes off his mask more, I think they need to establish this story a little bit more. You know, with the Mandalorians, about the fact that he's not been able to. You know, the whole thing of him not being able to take the mask off means ultimately he can start doing that once he realizes that he was part of this kind of cult, and, you know, Bo-Katan and all the rest of it can kind of talk to him about it all. But as of, I don't know why this. I know this picked up thing. I know. There's been a number of discussions about it, but yeah, I don't know. I know he wants more screen time and stuff, but you know, it's a character that doesn't take his mask off. That was the character. Joshua asks, what do you think of the idea of Emily Blunt and her husband John being linked with being Mr. Fantastic in Susan Form, respectively, in Fantastic Four, according to the rumour mill? I'd have no problem with them being it. I just think they're probably getting a little bit old now for this. I think if they were going to pick somebody, they could kind of pick two people that maybe are a lot cheaper. You know, they're not exactly cheap to bring those people in. I think they do fantastic as it, and I think it would work a lot. But I don't know. I think it's just a lot of fan service. Yeah, it's just this kind of weird thing, really. I don't know. I can see why people are going for it, but who knows? I mean, they could bring in someone a lot younger and a lot cheaper and get them in on a big deal. I don't know if Emily Blunt would want to do that. I mean, she's working with Disney on a number of different projects, but yeah, for me, I kind of would prefer somebody else to do it, because I think it would be better with maybe not a real couple, and they kind of, this fan thing has just kept building up that they are going to have to just do it from scratch. What's on Netflix asks, are you expecting a price rise for Disney Plus in the next couple of years? Yeah, I think there's without doubt we're going to see a Disney Plus price rise. I don't think it's going to happen in 2021, because I think internationally we're at a point where they're still launching. But more importantly, if they want to get Star or Disney Plus Star going, that's kind of a price rise through the back door anyway. Because essentially, you know, if they can get a few more pound or a few more, you know, $5 or whatever it is out of everybody by upping their subscription to get the extra tier with Star, with more content, that's their kind of way of kind of doing it through the back door. In fact, they did that 3-year deal back at the D23 where they kind of signed it in. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do anything now. I don't think they could do it right now. I think they're going to have to hold off. They're going to need a lot more of the Marvel and Star Wars shows dropping to kind of make people feel like they need this subscription. Because I think Disney Plus is, you know, there's a lot of people, especially adults, that are like, you know, if it wasn't for Mandalorian, there's not anything to keep them going. At least now we know we've got WandaVision coming in January. But kind of between like Christmas and up till October, there was a lot of adults that just didn't really bother watching it, so they have to prove, I think, to be worth it. I mean, it's going to go up eventually. I mean, inflation means that there's always going to be a price rise, but I think Disney are going with this tiered approach, so they can kind of creep it up, you know, pay a little bit less, cheaper for Disney Plus, a little bit more for Star, you know, do it that way and kind of go that way around, saying, yeah, I think there's going to be a price rise, but I don't think it'll be until, if it was, not till maybe late next year. Dosiv asked, will the UK ever get some JetX stuff, like Witch, Total Spies, and could Star get the Golden Girls and Bewitched? Also, could Daredevil and Elektra from 2003 and 2005 come to Disney Plus or Star? Okay, so let's break this one down. First off, let's do the easy ones. Daredevil and Elektra. Daredevil, the movie, I think could come to Disney Plus easily. Elektra's maybe a little bit older, so might have to go to Star. But I think once all this is sorted out, they are going to come there eventually. I think everything is just going to be there. And it makes sense to be there. I mean, I prefer the Netflix series to that movie, but it's not that bad. I kind of liked it when it came out. But yeah, the Netflix series completely whipped it. And but yeah, they'll be there eventually. It's just down again. I think they're just sorting everything out right now. But yeah, I think Daredevil would be good for Disney Plus. Elektra's a little bit more iffy. As far as the JetX shows, Those ones are very hit and miss because it depends who owns them. That's because a lot of these shows were on these networks and they weren't necessarily owned by Fox or Disney when they were running them. So therefore they're like just brought in. I mean, like Disney, you know, they show the Pokemon shows. They're not part of Disney. It's just been licensed in. So it's all going to come down. If there is a load of JetX shows that Fox owns that they can use, they probably will do. But it's going to come down to who's had the licensing. Same thing like with Golden Girls. All of that I can see coming in. I think once we got this lineup of what they're doing, once we know how this whole system is going to work, then basically, once we know what Disney Plus Star is officially, then as far as us internationally goes, and us in the UK and stuff, basically anything that they make and in their catalogue is now coming to it at some point, sooner rather than later. I think Golden Girls, I mean, I remember watching it vaguely as a kid and really didn't like it, as it was a bit boring when I was a kid, and so I don't think I've watched it since the 80s, and I didn't like it back then. So, but yeah, all these kind of shows, they're all going to eventually be there once we know. You know, we're at the point now, it's Hulu or Disney Plus Star internationally, and it's all going to make a little bit more sense as everything kind of comes into one place. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe. Also, a huge thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and also on our YouTube channel memberships. And I shall see you guys in another video. Laters.